Sentinels starting on the attack as well, and they went up big time. But LG, I think, at the end of that half, started to see something.
We'll see what's up for it. Again, Sentinel starting off on the attacking half. This is going to be their 11th rep starting off on attack on Bind. They seem to favor this side, and well, for good reason. Pretty freaking good when it comes to attack on Bind.
That was a different story last season, so we'll see if it still ends up being the case here against a strong team like LG. Already LG's doing, through the TP, they're actually chasing down Sand, and Sick is trying to get away.
Somehow manages to get away. He seemed like a dead man walking. A couple of kills get traded back and forth. The Spike's still safe.
I don't know how we ended up in this situation because LG had 4 people on this site moments ago. Now it's all under Sentinel's control, but only 2 people even close, so they're really, really aware of the flank potential, but all 4 coming from this side.
Mata is already so weak. Playing into smoke. The smoke drops, and there we go. They drop down. TenZ is able to pluck one out of the sky, dash away, and reposition to stay alive. Again, a 3v3 here. Members on the side of LG. A bit worse for wear. TenZ gets flashed up. Spike ticking away. They're just going to have to win these duels outright, and LG seem to be walking away victorious, at least for the time being. Konpeki, the new member of Sentinels in this 1v2, has to swing out. One and gets the second as well. Welcome to the big show, kid. The Red Bull clutch for Sentinels.
What an opening for Konpeki. For him to start off in his first Challengers match of all time.
Yeah.
Always playing the open qualifiers, and right away 1v2. That's got to feel good for him. And they had everything right here. They're looking exactly down short, but Konpeki was just not there. Wraps around and catches them. So one thing we saw in that round immediately is something that we're going to see over and over again. Sentinels is going to take a site dry if there's pressure on other sides of the map. In this case, down Sand, they just walk out with TenZ onto the A site.
That's a big kill, too, because Ball, again, to go back to their previous matchup, B-Dog was a serious thorn in the sides of Sentinels. Really the entire series, but on Bind in particular. We'll see now that he's sitting on the sideline whether things are a bit easier for Sentinels here. Worth noting, they do have the gun advantage, rocking 2 Bulldogs into this round. LUMINOSITY not nearly as fortunate, and those Bulldogs already paying off. 2 big kills out for TenZ. With a little bit of hookah control. They have options. I think it's just on the other side. Sick with the click flick. Cleans that up, and it's all left to Tig here in this, brutal situation. What are you doing a 1v5 in a Classic? Nothing. That's what you do. Nothing. The Prime Gaming Flawless comes through as Sentinels take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, clean from them. Recognizing the opportunity that they could just force the advantage. And already starting off exactly like they hoped. Really good play from Sick as well. Just to walk up into hookah, take the fight. And you'll continue. He was so aggressive on Omen. Trying to find openings for his team against LG even in the last series. And just overall too.
See here, Sentinels, as we saw because of Prime Gaming Flawless, come through not having to buy up very much at all. Rock the same weapons from the previous round. LUMINOSITY are back to fighting with full strength. Rifles across the board, along with full armor, and Sentinels already testing the waters in hookah. TenZ tries to go up, but B-Dog's there, greets him, drops him, and sends him into the next round. Now we'll see what else LUMINOSITY can do here. This might be the first time, I know it's early, but the first time they have a numbers advantage. It's a Spike as the map really just goes dead silent. Leaning towards B. Flash. It's going to get a little bit of info. Now Sentinels have to figure out how they want to approach this. They still have some sand control too, but the thing is there are 2 members from LUMINOSITY and hookah. And again, Sentinels quiet. Not pulling a trigger quite yet. Oh, that's going to hurt. Sick has to reposition. Takes a good bit of damage. No armor left. 23 HP to his name.
30 seconds left.
I just don't know that there are very many options. I don't know how many real ways they can go. They can't take Telly. They don't have any idea of Shower's control. They just kind of have to push their way forward. They're going to have to fight their way through, and that seems to be exactly what Sentinels are doing. 2 left on the side of LUMINOSITY as Moose and Mata remain. 13 seconds left. They're going to have to get through them, and they're doing it.
10 seconds left.
It's all on a Moose, and he was on the opposite side of the map. They should get the spike down, leaving Moose in a 1v3.
He is so far away, too. Not going to be able to grab info. Barely even going to be able to walk up. I thought Sig might have taken the time to get into that smoke, but no, he crosses because of it. And he has an opportunity now to catch the people in sight, potentially unaware. Because they are concerned about Hookah. They are concerned about Long. Still, Dapper's shoulder peeking it, and the players on site completely safe from that idea.
Moose is running out of time here if he wants to try to make something happen. I don't think that'll be the case. Sentinel should be able to find safe passage out of the site through teleporter, and Moose is going to cut his losses and live to fight another day. So the Vandal will go their way as Sentinels win the bonus and take a commanding lead early on here on Bind.
Yep. Fantastic spacing from Sentinels there.
Here.
Throughout all the trades as they got onto site. And that's what leaves them up in a 3v1. Is that spacing, that trust in each other, to be close to each other. And that's something that Sentinels continuously relies on throughout their entire history, is the fundamentals. Not necessarily set strats or executes or anything like that, although we have seen them inject a lot of that over this year. Just not to the extent that other teams do, and a lot of people are criticizing them for that. Because they don't want to change their identity. They want to stay who they are, and that's also why you see, for example, them not heeding the meta at all. 10 still on Jet, comparatively, and Shazam on Sova, compared to LG, who is playing Chamber and playing Sky, both dropping those agents.
And the Rays, too, as you mentioned, like there are so many differences between these compositions, but much like the last time these two teams danced on this map, Sentinels with an early lead on the attacking half.
Ooh.
And I don't know, unless Tick can do a bit of that again. I don't know that Luminosity are really in a position to fight back.
Didn't get the gun off of that, even though Shazam got a little greedy. Thought he might be able to find a gap over top of the nade and the molly that got put down. Dapper's key here to cut losses for Sentinels. Has to have the flank happen late, but they're not even actually going to test this A site, going back over towards Dazzle. There's nothing here for him to play off of, so he has to hope for a blind flash, but that's a good cleanup from LG, and they will recover a gun now.
Oh, and we'll see if Dazzle's able to do anything. No, he falls. As space is given over to Sentinels. They're going to be able to get the spike down. B-Dog's the first one over. They can establish some control. There may be something to do here. Mata gets the opener onto Sick as they establish Hookah presence. It's 3v2 here in favor of Luminosity. Yeah, it's a great nade.
Tends to spot, though. Hard to clear. B-Dog doesn't see him.
No, why would you look up there? It may not matter. Becky gets the big one. You see the dash activated. Some of the early changes we've seen out from Jet. Hence gets it. Tig in this 1v2. Smoked off. He's going to have to push his way forward. Too many targets. He can't easily isolate any of them. Has no idea where they are as he's guessing. Spike ticking away. Tense cleans him up. A 4-0 lead for Sentinels.
That is fantastic patience as well for both players there in that 2 versus 1. Both Campeki and Tens. And usually you're used to seeing Tens play aggressively when there's an opportunity for him to get a kill. When there's an opportunity for him to find an off angle or something like that where he thinks he has the advantage just by himself. But Campeki doesn't move. Tens doesn't move. They wait for that smoke. They know that they have to jump out of Hookah. And that's going to be already the tell for them to both double swing. Very well played. Good discipline. And when you see Tens at 7-2 already, that's a great sign for Sentinels to take the map.
Or at least the half, right? Because this is what historically we're expecting to see. Sentinels come out hot, much like, again, to go back to the last time they played, it was a 9-3 lead at halftime for Sentinels. They swap sides, and then LG win the first 8.
Yeah.
To really flip everything, to be honest, and to take the map away from Sentinels. So you wonder, Bala, at this point, if it is just a game of how much of a lead can they build in the half that they're expecting to win to make it safe enough for the second half.
Well, I was also expecting LG to come out ready for the types of things that are going on for Sentinels right now, like walking out bathroom on the pistol round. Like a lot of times, Sick is just punishing through Hookah very aggressively as something else happens on the map, just trying to find any of those timings as people rotate. I was expecting LG to just lean in and dig into their setups and not over-rotate in specific situations, but even in the cases that they do that, they're not being able to actually find value from it.
Op in the hands of B-Dog as he's holding down B-Long.
Break the drone
Would
for
you
him.
know it? This is where Sentinels are posted up. You see Sick. This is an exact replica of a play they ran last time. Doesn't pan out the same way. Sick gets dropped instantly. And now they have the Seekers coming out too to push Sentinels back.
They immediately do too. A lot of utility used there from Sentinels to try to clear out B-Dog's position, but he was aware of the Viper Molly and the Shock Dart coming in. Dodged that completely. Did not even use his TP. So that cooldown's still up, but he's not going to get poked. And they do stand firm. 6 gone, so they have to rely on the classic Sentinels Viper Wall and Orb to try to lurk up with 10s. But they've got that alarm bot too as LG. Oh!
Really surprised that Mata throwed a shoulder through, not throwed, through, shoulder as much as he did there. Ultimately falls with the showstopper still in tow.
It's a great position, but look at Dazzle. There's no utility for him to be caught by without the chamber here. Exactly. So if this flank comes fast, this could be massive, and there is delay here in the form of the orbital strike, and they get kills too.
12 seconds left. They're going to have to get on the site soon. Shaz and Tens are the only 2 that remain. It's all just down to them, and they fall apart. They didn't have the spike to begin with. Yep. And LG, they're on the board.
Yeah, they didn't even need the Dazzle flank there at all. The big ults cancel. There's also the snake bite thrown from Moose too. So even though Mata died early by throwing his shoulder in bathroom, that got the information for them to be patient enough, and there was nobody helping Tens come up short. So that took forever. Orbital Strike comes in, delays even further, and they're swinging with the op of B-Dog. While the fuel on the Viper Wall's down. That's the difference that you get when you lose Sick. It's beautiful stuff from B-Dog as well. When you get an op on chamber aggressive like that, and you're finding important picks, it's not Sick this time, but Campeki, a lot of the execute power now gone from Sentinels.
And the alarming thing for Sentinels here is B-Dog has that op. You can tell he's already starting to feel it. If he's not fully online, he's pretty dang close, and he's got the Tour de Force in his back pocket in case this round goes sideways.
Shazam did hear that trademark get active, so Shock Darts it right away. They can't play off of it. They can't set up the trap that they wanted to, which is a flash from Dazzle. But B-Dog's going to play a nasty, nasty off angle. Tens has to be ready for this. Has to activate his dash before he takes this.
I wonder how patient he's going to be. Not patient enough. I wondered if the playstyle would change given the dash changes, but they don't. Tig falls. The Sentinels seem to easily take control of what's happening in Hookah, but the showstopper out from Mata trades it right back. Sentinels fall apart as Dazzle cleans up 2 as Luminosity get to 2 as well.
Big fight there from B-Dog twice. He gets the opening frag, forces it down to a 5v3 before that even starts off. Tig even had a great play there. As soon as they've gotten this op up from B-Dog, it's been lights out. And again, even on Tens, who's usually fantastic in that angle to clear sight. This time, just not expecting B-Dog there at all. You can see he was not even looking at him.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it, right? It's such an uncommon angle. You called it right at the beginning.
Yep. So knives for Tens. Not just the classic. So deadly with those. But B-Dog is swapped again to try to look over top of this Viper Wall. Meanwhile, Sentinels is just showing a little bit of presence. Look at this flank. They dogged up in Hookah and they droned up from Shazam as well. And then they fell right back, but they LG pushed through bathroom, and this is going to be a nasty surprise.
Ooh, there go the blades. The pressure that they dial up is perfect, Bala.
Again, though, Campeki just walks up through sand, realizing there was nobody in Hookah with this Trailblazer early on. So this is an opportunity for Sentinels to find a gap.
Is he going to push forward? Dang right he is. Has to reposition, rethink things, backs back up.
They're not clearing him. Shazam's unaware.
No way. Oh boy, that was dangerous. But he manages to get 2 anyway.
and the spike is not planted inside this ults, but Dapper still cleans those two up. The spam enough for them to clean it up as well, though. And while that could have gotten hectic, I don't think LG really was sweating at all, given the fact that the spike was not planted inside of that.
Yeah. And Bala, I want to touch on something that you mentioned, because we were, been thinking about whether or not Chamber feels like must be played here. The fact that Sentinels are not running a traditional Sentinel, in the sense that flank through showers gets avoided with an alarm bot, most commonly, or a tripwire, something, right? Anything.
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I think even the Chamber attack setups that you see are focused more towards the market side, the left side of where they came from, not necessarily bathroom, but you can definitely have that covered. And Sentinels has traditionally, ooh, this is cool.
Flash.
Just the TP inside. Nobody here to receive though. But again, that's a chance for them to gain space elsewhere on the map. And he's right away back to fight against the eco here from Sentinels.
There's a Vandal in the hands of Tens. Spectre in the hands of Sick. That's really it for Sentinels as they try to hang on to a one-round lead.
But you are right, Doug. The trademark possibility from Sentinels, if they ran a Chamber, would fill the gap that they consistently have, which is somewhere on the map is not watched in their default. We've seen so many teams take advantage of that as well. Optic last season is a great example.
Oh boy. Tig just takes the fight to their doorstep, but Sick gladly swings that right open as B-Dog tries to swing out, tries to get something to happen, not able to do so. Moose and Mata, the two that remain on the side of Luminosity, they're starting to rotate through, show up a bit late.
Oh. Big decision here from Sentinels to fall back immediately. And they're playing for Shazam's ult.
With the op. Don't see that very often, not able to land the first shot. Kenpeki's weak too.
This is a little scary because Moose could put down the Viper's Pit of his own. End up trying to tap this defuse.
Yeah, you have to draw out the Hunter Fury here, right? You gotta do it quick. There it is, and they push in with it. Mata's able to get the opener onto Dapper, tries to dance around the Hunter Fury. There's the third pulse coming through. Kenpeki down to 4 HP. Oh, he's so weak, he falls. You're just spamming, waiting for Shaz to pull
He's still
through.
defusing.
And he sticks it. My goodness, he sticks it.
That was so close, though. 2 HP for Moose after he got tagged at full HP as he got onto the spike there. Beautifully played, though, in the 2 versus 3. Sentinels just not realizing that that was really a possibility that was dangerous. Thinking that they were going to be able to spam him down, but Mata putting his body on the line, getting up close in front of that Viper's Pit, stopping anybody from spamming, focused on instead trying to not die. And even still, it doesn't work out.
You hear the tour de force come through for B-Dog. So I want to say this is the... What do you have that op for, what? 3 rounds in a row? Maybe 4? Now he has that op to work with? Yeah.
Ever since he got it online, they've been winning every single round.
Yeah.
He's getting so much info. Listen to the footsteps that he's hearing. Sick, though, is still here. He's just heard them all rotate.
Oh! Wow. He was out of there
Tick's already gone. Sick is ulting up into heaven. Moose has to clear him. They're ulting him! What?
There's a way. Oh, he jumped back in. He repositions, but Sick falls. Kenpeki up close and personal takes care of Mata as he tries to anchor down the back of the site. And so far, so good. Spike tap planted. 4v3 in favor of Sentinels. No operator in play right now. It's a big kill.
These guys are on point, man. You peek, you die. Simple as that.
B-Dog has a rifle now, too. It's not just the tour de force, so they're going to have to clear out U-Haul. They know, they understand, and there it is. A big kill onto Kenpeki. Shaz still has 1 shock dart. That's the only bit of post-plant utility they have left, but they may not need it if they've got Dapper and Shazam to get things done. It's all into Dapper, 32 HP, and he falls. B-Dog with 3 as LG take the lead.
What a great idea, too. Knowing Sick was a thorn in their side with every single form of the shadows that he had last time they played. They instantly ult his position. He has to TP out, and while Kenpeki does recover, because Mata could have done even more damage there, he's close enough to trade Sick. LG still, with just a regular retake through pipes in heaven, recover that. And it's because Sentinels is playing really far back again. Nobody was there to actually support the player in lamps. And B-Dog just walks through and takes him out. Plus things like that, 10 speaking by himself. But again, there was nobody there for him. What is he supposed to do? Not peek?
Right.
Not try to take a fight? He's not getting traded anyways.
It was a pretty start out for Sentinels, but man, did Luminosity come roaring right back.
Yep.
Again, a far cry from their previous matchup, as Luminosity have already eclipsed the round total that they had in the first half.
And something to note too, ever since we talked about Tens having a hot start, he was 7-2 to start things off. He's now 7-7. He hasn't grabbed a single kill. And I think part of that is because they're trying to find an answer to B-Dog's op. And they've been putting Tens on the op as well. But just not finding those entries like we're used to seeing from him.
Mentioned B-Dog with the operator, still has it. Or at least bought another one. He's going to be trying to hold down B. See, the drone's already cleared out.
Sentinel's ideas here has to be surrounding around how to punish B-Dog when he takes these aggressive angles. Like, for example, the one that they got punished by when he peeked sand out of hookah.
Yeah.
And all that time spent, 2 flashes inside of hookah, and they're not finding anybody. LG is just retreating a little bit, and they still have an alarm bot in there, too, to play off of. Really, no map control gained at all from what Sentinels just did. Shock Dart out to break the alarm bot, but Mata's here.
Mata trying to reposition, gets up top. You see Tens went aggressive into his Cloudburst, cleans up the duelist on the opposing side as Sentinels seem to find the openings that they're looking for, but keep an eye on Tig on your minimap. He's on the flank. He may show up a bit too late, though. Shazam already repositioning to deal with it, and he does. B-Dog alone in a 1v4 with an op. And B-Dog, you're good, but I don't know that you're that good.
It's funny because if he was playing Jet, maybe I'd say he has a chance, but either way, because I've seen him do some nasty things, and we've been seeing him do that on Chamber all game long. They're chasing, though. They're on the hunt. They need to get this op out of his hands. They don't actually have money necessarily to recover it, because they'll start accruing only the loss bonus this round. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Nothing personal, kid. So we're tied up at 5 apiece. Sentinels with some really good adjustments there too. Like you mentioned, the clearing out of the trademark down short. That's there to essentially counter the Gambit setup. Going into a short off of the Viper utility, you clear that out. All of a sudden, you reintroduce the threat of a slow lurk up. They have to respect it.
But also you introduce the idea of Tens dashing, right? Because if if they don't break that alarm bot, he dashes, that still will go off.
Yeah.
And he'll put him in a sticky situation on top of that shed where Mata's easily got him. But they cleared it preemptively, and that's something that has been missing for a long time with Sentinels. Mata getting stuck. They're going to go for this again. Straight up through bathrooms.
Pecky using the Trailblazer managed to clear out.
Again. Look at these angles that he's finding Tens against. This time he doesn't hit the shot, but okay. They might duel again in a more conventional angle here.
They did. They did, and B-Dog won that one too. Kim Pecky falls. Luminosity, they're taking space. They're getting the duels that they need, and they're getting the kills to follow.
Those couple peaks just then look like Sentinel's getting a little frustrated. And I'd say LG is doing all the right things to make them frustrated. Because over and over again, they're just pushing showers. It's normally something you're able to counter pretty easily, but Sentinel's just not finding the answers. So every time it happens, every time B-Dog gets a kill on Tens in a weird angle, it's unconventional, and it's easily something that breaks mental.
30 seconds left.
Now they know his position. And he'll get killed in the back, just like last round that he did to B-Dog.
Prime Gaming Flawless comes through as Luminosity take the lead back.
Last round.
As we're now 1 round away from closing out this first half on Bind, and All I think is, as I think about this matchup, to be honest with you, I'm not seeing a ton of adaptations from both sides. This feels like a very similar approach, excuse me, to the previous matchup.
Yeah, I think both teams kind of felt that they should have won last game. And that's
Sure.
a lot last time on Bind. And I think that's probably why you're saying that. But also, I don't necessarily agree with that in the sense that LG feels like they're doubling down on the stuff that started to work for them. If that makes any sense, right? This push through. Oh my God, this guy. He's ridiculous.
Yeah,
he really is something else right now.
There's another easy one.
Spike down.
Tens is right there. Hello. Oh, and there's
oh my gosh, I thought he was going to do it, man.
I really did too.
2 left on the side of Sentinels. They have the spike.
Player standing.
Well, yeah, it just went from bad to worse. Shaz gets dropped. A 7-5 half for Luminosity to open up Bind. We're going to throw it to a break, friends. When we return the second half of Bind, don't go anywhere. We dropped a lot of words for you in the first half, but the outcome was ultimately a 7-5 lead for Luminosity. Now we've got a bit more to follow. I'm Doug. With me is my main man, Bala. Bala, Sentinels now going into their weaker side, down 2. Doesn't bode well.
No. And this is in context of their last game where they got absolutely shut out once they went to that defensive side. Yeah, it was bad. And a lot of that came from LG being consistently good with their B-side executes over and over. Used nades and mollies, all sorts of things to really deny Sentinels from getting any space. So we'll have to see them try to deny those executes from happening preemptively. And that's what Sentinels loves to do. So see how it pans out.
Nice swing out from Konpeki, taking matters into his own hands. Pop flashes for himself. Gets the opener.
Tig's in the smoke. He's with the spike. Oh no. This is scary. They're going to burst out of this with a flash. 6 here to respond as well. He's got a flash and he's tucked way far.
Oh, Konpeki's already gotten 2.
Shazam read it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Decapitates Tig.
Defender spawn.
Now Dazzle's got the spike, but he and B-Dog are in a 2v5. And B-Dog, no way.
They're chasing.
Yeah, they're far from out of the woodworks as Tens leans up B-Dog. The leader for Luminosity is left alone in this 1v3. Now Konpeki and Tens are both weak.
30 seconds.
Dazzle has a ghost.
Can't make it over towards bathroom. This would be a great angle, but Dapper's still alive as well.
Oh, he's waiting, anticipating the shots. Intense cleans him up. At the end, the pistol's going to go in favor of Sentinels.
That was hectic. I mean, right off the bat, Sentinels, great play. A little bit of a read on knowing that Mata might be alone outside of hookah. So they take the fight to him. He's full blind. No way that they lose that fight. 2 versus 1. Right here, exactly. And everybody else has to try to, number 1, flank, and number 2, try to fight on site with 2 spots they can come from, spawn and through hookah. That's a tough ask, so they try to call an audible. But Shazam reads it. You saw he fell back. I think actually Sick called that for him, because Sick was playing really far back in the first place. So great stuff on the way to even things out here in the second half.
Tens, who'd gotten 2 kills in the previous round. That's another one already with the Marshal in hand. This Luminosity kind of have to throw the brakes on this thing. Didn't seem like they wanted to hit a fast hit anyway. But boy, you gotta be careful. B-Dog gets tagged. Tens cleans up Dazzle anyway.
Interesting there. B-Dog opts to go for the orb rather than trying to trade that kill. And it nets him another kill anyways.
Well, and you can tell that very clearly feels like a win condition for Luminosity, right? You saw them in the previous round. Their first intention was get B-Dog the orb down B long. You see him prioritize it there too. They clearly place a lot of value in having that Tour de Force online, and well, it's there.
Yeah. My concern though is it was definitely great for them in situations where they got to post plan in the last series. But attack side op with Chamber is something very difficult to pull off, and he's gonna go for it. Obviously, you have to. And Dazzle called B-Dog a ball of fury. My concern is that that ball of fury is locked up in a sense, balled up, right? He doesn't have the chance to really play as he could on another agent, for example. He has to play slow. He absolutely has to. Sentinels is hard leaning over towards this B side. Look, it's only Dapper playing here.
He's got the paranoia set up. You got a paranoia, you got a flash here, you've got all sorts of problems. Ada playing with danger. The Trailblazer comes out, the paranoia follows, he's got to back up, manages to get to safety, as Tig just narrowly clears that corner.
All the space regained though, and look, they've cleared long.
Yeah.
Tens is looking with the Marshal from sight into hookah though. Mata can't die to this. They're already ready on the other side of the map, but Shazam's rotated. And they've got the drone that spotted everything.
Timing on that drone was nuts. Now with 36 seconds left, it seems like they're doubling down and trying to go A. They still don't have U-Haul control, but that might not matter if they've got B-Dog in showers. Pushing his way forward with the Tour de Force. Clearing as many angles as he can as Ten drops down! And he gets sent to the next round. B-Dog still up. Looking for more targets as Dapper. Applying a bit of pressure.
Here.
Out of reposition. Oh my gosh. The guy's a madman.
He's able to fight from short now.
Yeah. Spike ticking though. Sentinels are going to have to go soon. Moose flashed up, information gathered. He's going to have to deal with the challenges coming his way. He's able to weather the first. He's got a little bit of help, but Sick cleans him up. 2v2.
Smoke on the spike.
Tap is there.
He's got to run.
Sicking it. Got to spam through it. He's hit him, but he's not going to hit him enough. No way.
I can't believe that just happened. B-Dog doesn't have the weaponry to actually help in that situation. He loses the fight as well. Oh my goodness. Sick with the smoke. Dapper with the stick. And Sentinels takes the lead in the second half.
And he hurt him too on the spam. He did damage to him. He whittled him down a considerable amount, but it just wasn't enough.
He just didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
Didn't know where he was positioned. And now we go into a forced buy here from LG. They got the money from the spike planted, but they've got to figure out a way to deal with how Sentinels rotated on them in that round, how they shut down their offensive through B long. That's got to find a little bit of more value.
I was going to say it was a quiet approach to Luminosity until they decide to pull the trigger, and that trigger, dear friends, has been pulled. The paranoia out from Sick and Octagon is going to buy him a little bit of time, but they hunker down, refusing to give up an inch. What? Sick already falls. The spam through it worked this time. How much more can they find? The Seekers. E-Dog going hunting. Mata. Oh, look at Mata. He gets both. The Force Buy seems to be working out just fine as Nade's going to push Shazam back. Mata on the third. Kempeki left alone.
And they're already starting to pinch him as well. So this is already wraps for Kempeki pretty much. Unless he got a nasty 180. And the Force actually pays off here for LG. Obviously, the round was not super clean last time for Sentinels on their bonus. So Luminosity takes the opportunity to take that fight to them, force the economic situation to not be too wide of a gap. And I love what they did. Recognize there's nobody hookah. They're playing in long. They're doing that same setup. Remember, they threw that smoke, that Sick through early on, way deep down long. So saw that and pushed out and left them in Octagon and just sprayed through. Found Sick and then found the other player too, Kempeki. And this is cheeky.
Oh, no. He still gets one, dude.
How does he get that?
Come on.
Again, though, they're in bathroom. Are they going to leave him here? Or are they going to try to flush him out?
Yeah, it's not like they have anyone pushing around, too, for the pinch like we saw in Octagon previously. Instead, they've taken full U-Haul control.
Don't forget, it's just pistols on the side of Sentinels.
Yeah. Pistols so far have not been enough. And you've got Tig waiting for the flank, too. Make sure there's nobody pushing around. LG seem to be doing a really good job of checking all the boxes. You've got the mollies. Denied the defuse. That Sheriff out from 6 seems to be okay for now. I just don't know how much time there's left, Paula.
Killed their omen. Last player standing.
That's a problem. Taking a
don't
1v2. Oh! Kempeki snaps on him, pulls off, and cleans up Tig. That was nuts.
But it doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah, but it still looked cool.
A lot of things Kempeki has done so far this game has looked really cool. Clearly, a good fit, I think, for Sentinels. He's fitting right in.
Yeah.
He's very adaptive, very easy to do a lot of random plays. And he can frag too. Got the whole package, pretty much, I think, in terms of somebody to join Sentinels.
Yeah, it seems to be. It seems to be that way for sure.
One thing we'll see potentially in later maps as well is him unlocking a little bit of flexibility that Sentinels has been missing for quite a long time.
Through the heroics out from Kempeki, Luminosity carry a narrow 1-round lead. See Sentinels, they've invested the Viper's Pit right into A short. And it seems like Luminosity want to push into it anyway. They've already taken Shower's control.
Oh, they're crossing, which is interesting. Okay, so usually Moose is throwing the Viper wall that's not common, right? The one that actually covers towards sight, lets them walk out of bathroom potentially.
Yeah.
This time they threw the one that Sentinels was using. And they just tried to cross over towards bathroom, but it still looks a little bit like they don't know what they want to do. Dapper might have gotten stuck in a little bit of a trap here.
Be careful, the spam's there. Dapper gets tagged up. Also worth noting, you take a look at how much space Tense has taken with the operator. Thank you.
Yeah, but same thing as well for Mata. And B-Dog's jump spotting this. Didn't spot him though. And both kills go the way of Sentinels, so all 3 players running through hookah right now. This is a tough ask with Tense looking at it with an op as well.
Yes, it is. And if this delays any longer, you've got Dapper who can show up with the flank. The Seekers have already come through. Sick falls ultimately, but Tense with the operator. Not forget it. If Shazam was able to get 2, the Classic gets a 3rd at the end. We're tied at 9 apiece.
And we'll have to see. I think LG has plenty of money because they got a lot of guns in that Force round. Not necessarily plenty, but enough to buy. And this is scrappy economically so far. Tense has got the op online though in the last 2. And he's been putting it to good use so far in that last round. Timeout for LG. Still, that's so impressive at the top of the scoreboard from B-Dog. 22 and 15. And it honestly does feel like that was one of the first wins that Tense has gotten against him.
Yeah, you mentioned that timeout coming through from Luminosity. You take a look at the timeline and you realize that this has been quite the emotional roller coaster for fans of both teams. Worth noting, B-Dog 2 points away from having that tour de force online, and previous to the timeout, looked like his intention was to bring a Marshall into the round. So we'll see kind of how they want to choose to play this here.
They've been funneling the ult orbs towards him, so
Yeah.
who knows what he could do this round.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I think when you talk about both teams making adjustments, I think you have to give massive credit here so far from Sentinels.
Yeah.
Coming in with the game plan to disrupt those executes, keep control of long, and that's great credit to Sick in the way that he's actually locking it down. And then also Dapper there in that last round, stopping them from approaching him on short. They really wanted to, late in the round, stop that Viper's ult from being useful. And look at what it's done to LG. It's forced them to play really, really slow, really, really passive, far, far, far back. Sentinels is gambling over towards A. Very interesting. Dapper's playing completely offsite in elbow.
There.
The problem is LG does not know that that is going to be the case. So how do they read that out? Doesn't look like they have anything to be able to do so. Wow.
Soon as the smokes pop, the mollies come through, and now the orbital strike does as well. The showstopper's going to clear space, and I don't know that he's going to get a target.
Yeah, he found Dapper.
Oh, no way! You're right, finds Dapper. See the Hunter's Fury is going to try to clear some space as the Viper's Pit tries to do a bit of the same. Mata in it. Takes care of Sick, repositions to try to stay alive. Spike's still not down yet. It's just now making its way into the site. Numbers advantage heavily in favor of Luminosity here as they have site control. They've got layers to the setup. They've got depth there. They're sitting pretty here, Balla.
Sentinels is saving already.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if that ult from Sick to rotate fast in the elbow to hold it with Dapper actually made it more likely for Mata to throw that showstopper over towards Dapper in that case, instead of throwing it towards Shazam inside a spawn on the rotate. I mean, either way, still great for Mata to actually find value off of something that he really shouldn't have. Site was open, and LG didn't realize, so they used their full power to execute on the site. I think great patience from them to hold off and see, is this Viper's Pit actually going to hold? Because we saw Sentinels make that mistake in the first half, where they put the exact same one, the one that covers into spawn, they plant on the outside of it. Sentinels rushed that. LG, they slowed it down. They're waiting. Okay, are they rotating through the teleporter? Can we actually hold the flanks? Is that Viper's Pit going to be held? Or is it going to fall early? Because he's playing so close and by himself that that's actually a question.
Viper's Pit, you were just alluding to, not going to be a factor here for either squad, but Luminosity again with a narrow one-round lead. No operator in the hands of B-Dog this time.
This is interesting. Sick throws the smoke down long immediately and rotates. And one thing LG hasn't done is reactively fight through the smoke when he places it preemptively. And I think because of that one round where he placed it after flashing, after fighting through, and forcing them all the way back, they're scared of more of those trap plays. They're scared of the crossfires that could be.
Well, even with that in mind, it seems like they want to test the waters that way. Boy, Kimpeki just got all sorts of information.
Oh,
and look
Tens
at that. They
with
did
an
that,
op.
but Tens is waiting with an op of all things. He's got the dash. He's already teed it up. He still has time to use it, too. No way he sticks around for a second.
That's crazy.
I mean...
And he gets into the smoke of Sick as well. But again, look, Mata's all the way up hookah. He's going to actually give it up. They've got the Seekers online now, so they're going to set up for an execute still on this A site where they know Tens is, where they know Sick is.
30 seconds left.
Shazam's making the wrong read, too. He's rotating off.
Got the stimmy. Seekers, Tens repositioning, waiting for someone to push showers. Just narrowly, the timing not working out as he gets spammed through the wall and is ultimately met with his demise. 13 seconds left. Luminosity do manage to get the spike down. Now it's on Sentinels to try to take this thing back.
These situations have always been sketchy so far from LG. They lost the one round where they just stuck, and they're playing really far off site. Tig still has his molly, and so does Moose. So a lot of delay.
It's not just one, two. He's got two of them. Moose does. There it is. The first molly comes through. The flash Shazam understanding he has to take the fight to them. Attempts to do so. Falls as Dazzle swings out. 62 HP.
I love it.
That's clean, man.
He's just pushing there to actually check if the molly hit, too. Making sure that they're not having a weird angle to stick. And with the flash, I mean, him and Mata just wrecking ball through. They know that if they even get one or two, the round is pretty much locked up with what they still have in store. So, LG with the 2-round lead, and Sentinels call another timeout. And one thing that's got to get cleaned up is these rotates early. Sometimes Shazam is making the right call, but other times he's on the other side of the map. And that leaves the two players who are playing on the site in hot water. That case, Tens also with the lapse of judgment, I think. With the Seekers coming into him on the site.
Let's try to stay.
Yeah. He tried to peek into it. It got nearsighted, I mean, everything thrown at him. 3 people spammed him at the same time, too, because the Seeker kind of gives up the location. It's not a Sova dart or anything like that, but...
It was enough. It was enough info for sure, yeah.
Yeah. But he is back online, and that's good to see. And the start of that round was ridiculous, too. After they rotate through the TP because they shut him down off of the long take. Tens. This man is dynamic, even when Jet is nerfed into a way that makes it less dynamic. It's so fun to watch still. And I'm going to be interested because it's clear that they think that this agent is still very viable. And I agree too, but not necessarily on bind. They don't care.
I mean, when you've got Tens.
When you've got Tens. And the narrative for Sentinels is continuously that's kind of the story now. Tens and friends. As many of his teams have been named in the past. Don't think we're at that stage just yet, but certainly I think the stats are showing he has to perform well for Sentinels.
Quiet round out from Luminosity, and you see Sentinels. Position.
That's gorgeous.
Yep, sniff things out. You see Tens pops the dash. In case he needs a quick out. That's really all the pressure that there was, at least initially, towards A. Now they're going to rotate back. And look at Shaz and Tens flipping.
So here, Dapper is playing inside of hookah, so he knows. And then Kampeki still has 2 flashes, so at any point he could flash out long B. And they should know what's happening, but there's the flash, and it's a little too late. Sick and Shazam have to hold it down.
They've been playing off of the smokes. As soon as the smokes pop, they like to pull the trigger, and Tig already waiting for it, but I wonder if they take this one dry. It seems to be the case. Look at him. All right, now they go. The flash just a little short. Doesn't flash back sight. May not matter, though. As you see Sick has crept his way forward. Mata pushing through U-Haul. All of a sudden realizes he's got soldiers falling left and right around him. Just 2 left on the side of Luminosity. That might just be enough, Mata. Pushing Kampeki back. Spike taking. He's got to land those onto Sick. Not able to do so. Dazzle's left in the 1v3. The spam, 15 HP. And now the floor is lava. As he falls apart, Sentinels are going to get the defuse. And once again, it's a tight one.
It is so tight. 11-10. In some cases, it feels like LG's in full control. And then in some cases, Sentinels happens. And in this case, Tens.
Tens happens.
I mean, that's not something you see from him often, right? To take some space and then get into a weird angle to continue to clear. But it's methodical, right? It's something that's actually thought out for him to be able to spot the gun barrel there and spam at the same time. It's nice to see from Tens. If you continue to see that sort of thing through his playbook, increasing in the little optimizations that you can make, it could be a real force to be reckoned with. Much more than I think everybody is really expecting from Sentinels at this point so far in the season.
See the defensive Viper setup from Sentinels. As Mata's going to have to check that angle, and there are just too many things for him to look at. Not realizing Tig is just on the other side! And the spam gives him away.
What happened to the nade? Did that go through the roof? I think it might have gone through the roof.
Let's see if we can get a replay of that. You're right, I'm curious too. Dapper's still a problem here. 10 is joining in on it. It seems like an inevitability that Sentinels are going to tie this thing up. Unless Moose does something absolutely insane.
Wait. Sick. Maybe made a mistake there. He's going to be able to get spiked down, and that's actually crucial because we could see that Moose has 3.5k, but that's not necessarily indicative of the rest of his team. So any money they can get right now, Sentinels tries to break. What do you do?
No, man, he just makes it look easy.
I mean, it's a 1v3. He's just running forward by himself and right-clicks him from midair. The great part about that, though, is even if Tens obviously still has possibilities of getting out of that situation, but even if he dies, what he did was force him into that pocket. And now he's stuck there, right? Because his teammates are not far behind. So he has to take all fights from dirt, from pocket, whatever you want to call it.
Tied up at 11-11 here. Again, a very close match to open up this best of 3. As both teams seem to have exercised the demons that they had.
Fast. Here it goes. Mada's getting up close. Shazam, got to be careful. And he is. But this time they lose a lot of space inside a bathroom. Not something that they were trying to, especially with the way that Sick is smoking. And not something that LG is actually taking advantage of.
They've stacked A, knowing that they've got the Viper's Pit B, so they can fight this mano-a-mano, and Dazzle pushing his way forward. He had the Seekers there. The gun barrel was not enough as the kills get traded back and forth. The 3v3 here. As 6 swings out, the guy has been an absolute lunatic for Sentinels up until this point. And as much as things erupt, continue to go in favor of Luminosity. B-Dog's already gotten 3 on the round. It's going to fall on to Dapper to win this. Dapper's going to be on the hunt. Yeah.
There's nothing he can do to stop the spike going down right now, and he's got a long way to flank, unfortunately. Okay, he was expecting them to actually come back through sand. I like that idea, but now they know where he's at.
Worth noting, no post-plan anything's here from Luminosity. They're just going to have to fight on the side for it. E-Dog's ability to reposition has been taken away. Dapper drops. Almost drops.
Oh, that's cool.
Smokey lands one shot, but Moose swings out at just the right time to clean him back up. Luminosity on map point.
And to me, that is fully, again, as that hit comes out of bathroom, Tens giveth and Tens taketh away. He was so close to everything there, and he goes for the extra peek by himself. No trade possible. And even though Sick responds there, LG does a great job of trading up the kills, cleaning up the A site, and forcing Dapper into a completely, I mean, I wouldn't say unwinnable, but very low chance of winning that one.
Pretty close, yeah.
Okay, so match point from LG. To start things off strong against Sentinels is exactly what they did in the open qualifiers, exactly what they did to take them down in the series. And a great way to start the regular season off here.
Boy, Tens did not stop pushing from when the barriers dropped up until that moment. The flash in his face, swinging around the corner with the op, and he's rewarded for his efforts as he gets the opener.
Nice part too is he didn't even activate his dash, and they go exploring again. Sentinel's playing so proactive here, trying to force OT. It's all up to B-Dog to find an opening here, but Sick continues to deny this vision. Big execute possible. There is 2 ults, Tig and Mada. Showstopper and Orbital Strike.
And again, we've seen they like to play once the smokes go down, once those pop, that's when they like to push forward. There it is, the smokes go down. Mada with the Showstopper gets Dapper. How much more can they find? And now the Orbital Strike is going to clear out backside. B-Dog Zot takes care of Konpeki as Mada from Hookah continues to cause problems. Sick with the From the Shadows is going to reposition to back B. As Tens is going to have to approach things from sand.
They hear him too. He was running a little bit of that way. So Moose can take the fight.
It's a 4v2. Oh, and it's a big ask. Tens, not with the weapons he's looking for. He's going to have to play this very carefully. At the dash, and Moose gets the kill. Sick in 1v4. Some of them are weak, but it's not going to be enough.